Hamlet, Part 3, Blood and Destiny. The halls of Elsinore were hushed with dread. Rumors of madness, murder, and drowning clung to the stone walls like mist. Every step echoed with tension. Every glance carried suspicion. The kingdom itself seemed sick, as though the land mourned the sins of its rulers. And into this silence came the announcement. Prince Hamlet and Laertes would duel before the court. On the surface, it was to be sport, a friendly contest of swords, but beneath the courtesy lay venom. Claudius and Laertes had prepared their trap well. Laertes' rapier was sharpened and smeared with deadly poison, a single scratch enough to bring death. As insurance, Claudius had readied a goblet of wine laced with the same venom to be offered to Hamlet should he tire. Smiles masked treachery. Applause would mask murder. Before the duel, Hamlet stood before Horatio, his one true friend. He confessed his readiness for fate. "There's a divinity that shapes our ends," he said quietly. Gone was the hesitation that had tormented him. He felt destiny's hand guiding him now. If death came, he would embrace it. Yet vengeance still burned in his blood, unresolved and unfulfilled. The court assembled, the king and queen upon their thrones, courtiers eager for spectacle. Hamlet and Laertes faced each other, swords drawn. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Two young men, both grieving, both burning with vengeance, both pawns in a game larger than themselves. Then steel clashed against steel, the sharp music of combat ringing through the hall. At first, Hamlet scored touches, his skill surprising all. Claudius, masking fear with a smile, urged him to drink from the poisoned chalice, but Hamlet declined, still focused on the fight. The queen, in a gesture of motherly pride, lifted the cup and drank. A hush fell. Claudius's eyes widened, horror masked too late. The poison was at work, but Gertrude smiled, unaware of her doom. The duel raged on. In the frenzy, Laertes struck Hamlet with the poisoned blade, drawing blood. The trap had sprung, but fate, impartial and cruel, twisted the game. In the scuffle, swords were exchanged, and Hamlet wounded Laertes with the same envenomed weapon. Both men were now marked for death. The queen staggered, the poison coursing through her veins. With her last breath, she cried out, "The drink! The drink! I am poisoned!" She collapsed before them all, and the hall erupted in chaos. Claudius, pale as marble, tried to command order, but truth poured forth. Laertes, dying, confessed the plot. "The king's to blame," he gasped, collapsing in shame and agony. At last, Hamlet's hesitation shattered. Fury blazed, sharp and unstoppable. He turned on Claudius, forcing the poisoned wine upon him. "Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink off this potion, follow my mother." With those words, he struck Claudius with the poisoned sword, sealing his fate. The usurper fell, choking on his own poison, his treachery repaid in kind. But victory was ashes. Hamlet, too, felt the venom burning through his veins. His time was short. He turned to Horatio, who in loyalty sought to join him in death. But Hamlet forbade it. "If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story." Even as life ebbed from him, Hamlet thought not of glory, but of truth. That his tale be remembered, that the world know the cost of betrayal, hesitation, and revenge. With his final strength, he named Fortinbras of Norway as the rightful heir to Denmark, ensuring order would rise from chaos. Then at last, the prince fell, whispering, "The rest is silence." The court lay strewn with bodies, king, queen, prince, counselor, daughter, all claimed by ambition, betrayal, and vengeance. Elsinore, once proud, was a grave. When Fortinbras arrived, he found a kingdom of corpses and a tale of tragedy etched into its stones. Hamlet's story endured not because he lived, but because he died as both victim and avenger, thinker and warrior, son and prince. His tragedy was not only in the blood spilled, but in the questions left unanswered. What is justice? What is madness? What is the cost of revenge? And above all, his voice lingers across centuries in that eternal question, to be or not to be.